We are under 24 hours away from Nebraska's biggest game of the season versus number 21 Michigan. And man, oh man, over these past couple hours, the drama has grown. These Wolverine fans are talking recklessly, but it's not just them. Their head coach and their players have had some disrespectful things to say. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my instant reaction. What exactly was said? Is it valid? Is it not? And everything else you need to know, along with a huge change to the spread. Ahead of this matchup, we'll talk about it. Dana Holgerson's unique advantage tomorrow to Deepcut, keys to victory for the Big Red that nobody's talking about, and so much more. So really quick, if you're excited about tomorrow, I know I am. Hit that like button. Reminder, right after the game at Memorial Stadium, I will be live on this channel discussing a win or a loss, so be here. And also, if you're a diehard Husker fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for daily content? Talking to your favorite team, join this family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. Man, the drama is growing, the anticipation it's building, and these Wolverine fans, they're talking recklessly. They fully expect to walk into Memorial Stadium tomorrow and dominate us in all four quarters and all three phases of the ball game. But it's not just them. Their players and their head coach have also had some disrespectful things to say. I mean, I want to start things off with their interim Biff Poggy because, right off the bat, he's been very complimentary. He said he respects Matt Rhule. He thinks Dylan Raiola will be as tough as a quarterback as what he faces this year. That Emmett Johnson, probably their biggest key to the game is to shut him down and make Dylan Raiola pass instead of heading it off. They feel like if they can stop the run, they're going to beat us by a considerable amount. All that's fine. But there were two things in particular that he said that I thought were incredibly disrespectful. Number one, he said that Bryce Underwood will be completely unleashed tomorrow. They expect tomorrow to be his breakout game. They expect it to be his emergence, his statement game. They said that, in the future, this could be the game they look back on and say, this was the game that Bryce Underwood proved to everybody that he's legit, that he's a top 10 quarterback and he's coming to be a future Heisman. Okay, that was disrespectful to Nebraska, and particularly our defense, what we've done this year. And Bryce Underwood, he's a very talented quarterback. He has a phenomenal arm. He can run. He can extend plays, and he has that high potential that we just talked about. But you're discrediting what Nebraska's done so far this season, particularly at stopping the pass. Okay, we have not given up so far this year over 70 passing yards per game. That's number one in America. That hasn't happened in over 2 decades. Nebraska's secondary is on an unreal trajectory. So while I expect Michigan to throw for around 100 yards, 120 yards, they're going to absolutely break that streak. Expecting Bryce Underwood to run all over us, pass all over us tomorrow, come on. That's not going to happen. And also, they're running over the Dylan Raiola storyline. I expect tomorrow to potentially be Dylan Raiola's emergence. They don't think that's going to happen. They think their 5-star quarterback is going to outshine him. That is not really going to be the case. Also, Biff Poggy said when it comes to the game plan, they're holding nothing back. They're playing with nothing to lose because they expect them to walk in there with their talent, with their productivity, with their track record to dominate us. Okay, the playbook's wide open, right? They're holding nothing back. They believe that tomorrow's a must-win for a multitude of reasons. They're trying to make a statement out of us. They're trying to make a fool out of us. Again, they respect us, sure, from what they've said to the media, but you have to read in between the words here. The fact they think it's going to be Bryce Underwood's breakout game, that they're holding nothing back. Come on. They expect to really beat us in all three phases. Okay. It's disrespectful what he's saying. Again, I think it's going to be a lot harder of a battle than maybe what they're giving credit for. And also, Bryce Underwood, he was interviewed by On3 a couple days ago by JD Pinkle, and he was asked about Nebraska. He said, hey, what are you doing ahead of this ball game? It's going to be a tough sellout crowd. It's going to be very loud. We know how big it is for the Huskers. And Bryce Underwood said, and I quote, he doesn't really think about us. Okay, he believes that if he can have success through the running game, if he can get in a flow with his offense and play up to his potential, that there's no way that Nebraska can stop him. Okay, and you heard that sentiment all week from Michigan players. While, again, they were giving their respect to Nebraska on paper, if you read in between the lines, they believe they're going to dominate us. They believe that, okay, this is the same Nebraska team of old, right? That we have talent, but we're never going to play up to it, that we're not very well coached, that we're not going to ever win the big game. They know the narrative, and they don't think it's going to change. They think it's going to be the same deal here with Nebraska. They're so hyped up going to the big ball game, and they're going to lose by a considerable amount. Okay. We'll see if that happens tomorrow, but I absolutely don't think it will. And then, again, it's not just the players and the coaches. The fan bases, they're really getting at it. I mean, you started this off with Michigan's post the other day. They said opening up conference play on the road this weekend in a cornfield. I mean, guess who that player is riding the graphic? Yeah, it's Ernest Hausman, former Husker. I mean, you go to what the fans are saying, right? Nebraska's been going at Michigan fans all week. Michigan right here, they said, we don't think about Nebraska at all. They're irrelevant. Michigan's too busy competing with Ohio State and Penn State, that this inferior Nebraska program. Oh, we don't even care about you. They said, that we're incredibly confident that we're going to beat the Huskers because we beat them 4 times in a row. This guy said that that Michigan's our biggest game of the year, and that Michigan really, this is not even close to their biggest game of the year. Again, it's all this stuff. It's all added to the fire, right? It's all added fuel to the fire. But at the exact same time, I disagree with this post by Swinky Wolverine. This is Michigan's biggest game of the year, in my eyes. Okay, you could say it's Ohio State, you could say it's Washington later down the road. The reason why this is Michigan's biggest game and why they need to beat us as much as we need to beat them is because if they lose tomorrow, they're screwed. Their playoff hopes are over. You're not making the playoffs at 10-2. And I don't even think you're going to go 10-2 because you're probably still going to lose to Ohio State, right? And you still have some tough teams on the schedule. So again, if Michigan loses tomorrow, their season's over before it really begins. So for them to act like, oh, we don't think about Nebraska at all, this is just another game for us, and Nebraska's treating it so seriously, bull crap. You should treat it as seriously as we are, because if you lose somehow, you're screwed and we're perfect. We're still undefeated, and you have 2 losses to your name. So again, the fan base at Michigan, they think they're so much better. Okay, we'll see. But it's been funny though. I like it. I like it when we can go back and forth with other fan bases. It makes it fun. I hate it when we play like Rutgers or Maryland. Their fan base is just silent. Like let's go back and forth a little bit. That's what makes college football fun. I'm just giving them a hard time. But again, the best team will be proven tomorrow. And then I don't know if you guys saw this, but the spread has changed for this game. It started off the week at 2.5. You go back to the offseason, it was originally Michigan by about a touchdown. But entering this week, it was Michigan by 2.5. Overnight, going into Friday, it has changed to Michigan by 1.5. And there's a lot of bookies now that have it as a pick'em game or Michigan by half a point. Okay, that says a lot. Vegas is going toward Nebraska over time. Okay, the fact it started at 2.5, it's 1.5 now. I believe by kickoff tomorrow, it will be a pick'em, a complete pick'em. Okay, if you look on the ESPN site, they believe it literally is a pick'em. They think it's a 50-50 shot. They think it was the biggest jump game of the entire weekend. Okay, they have no idea who's going to win. Says a lot. This is a lot of Vegas is moving toward us. Again, a lot of people are betting on the Big Red. I want to talk about 2 particular advantages that Nebraska has tomorrow that we need to exploit. Number 1. Was diving into the film all week on Michigan, and I reminded myself who the Wolverines defensive coordinator is. Very familiar name, Wink Martindale, who's been all around both college football and the NFL as recently with the Giants. If you know anything about Wink Martindale, he's one of the most aggressive defensive coordinators in the game from a blitzing standpoint and a man coverage standpoint. Okay, Dylan Raiola. This is a little bit of a problem, but I'll tell you why this could be a good thing for us. Dylan Raiola last year was one of the worst quarterbacks, both under pressure and against man coverage. Both the things that Michigan are the best at, blitzing and in man, okay? But here's the thing. Here's the change. Dana Holgerson's the change, right? We haven't seen too much pressure this year because our offensive line's been so phenomenal. Our running backs have been doing a good job blocking as well. So what Dana Holgerson needs to do tomorrow against man coverage, against this heavy blitzing attack, number 1, we got to get the ball out of Dylan's hands quick. I don't believe he's great under pressure. We haven't seen that so far this year because the offensive line's done a really good job. But I think if they can consistently get Dylan in the dirt, he's going to start throwing some balls in harm's way. So you can't have that happen. So what Dane needs to do is pick apart this, Wolverine offense with these short plays, whether it's a screen, a slant, an out route, in route, right? Allow your wide receivers to get open in space and make something happen with the run for catch ability. Also, again, you look at these wide receivers, right? It's going to be primarily man coverage. Last year, there wasn't a single wide receiver on our roster who could beat man coverage consistently, right? It was Jamal Banks couldn't beat it. Isaiah Nair couldn't beat it. Jacory Barney even had a lot of struggles against man coverage. That's got to change tomorrow because if once again we struggle against man, if Dane Key can't get separation, Isaiah can't get separation, Jacory can't get open, that means Dylan can't throw the football. And that means we're going to have to be forced to run it, and that's Michigan's biggest key to the game is stopping the run, okay? So after that, we're really going to have absolutely no offense. So this game is going to rely on Dana Holgerson. If you believe he's an A-plus coordinator, we're going to be in good hands, but it's about getting the ball out very quick, not allowing Dylan to get under pressure, and having our wide receivers beat man coverage. Also, second thing, you go to our other coordinator, John Butler. This is going to be a huge game for him, right? This is his big statement game. There's a lot of concerns around John Butler. Oh, is he better than Tony White? He's heard the noise. It's important for John Butler to beat Michigan before the game is even played. From a schematic standpoint, from a pre-snap standpoint, right? You've got to confuse Bryce Underwood. You've got to confuse their offensive coordinator. You got to confuse Biff Poggi, right? The fact of the matter is Bryce Underwood's a very young quarterback. He's a true freshman. He's 18 years old, right? He has not been in a lot of big games. He's not seen a lot of defenses before, okay? You've got to confuse him pre-snap with disguising your blitzes, disguising your coverages, right? Sending 5 and 6 when he's not expecting it. Looking like you're going to send a blitz and then going back on it, right? Running cover 3 when you think he's going to run cover 2. Running man when you think you're going to run zone. You've got to confuse Bryce Underwood because he's not seen a lot of these defenses. He's not a very smart quarterback yet. You've got to take advantage of that before the plays even snapped, right? I think a lot of times the defensive line, we talked about that. It's very important, right? Nebraska's got to break on the D-line. The secondary's got to play well. But more than anything, from a schematic standpoint, we have to dominate, and John Butler has to confuse Bryce Underwood early on. And 2 final things I want to talk about. My final keys to the game that I was just really thinking about today that really I haven't heard from many other people. That's why I'm going to bring them up in order for Nebraska to win. Number 1, the team that wins tomorrow is going to be the team that has the most explosive plays, okay, particularly from Nebraska. We just haven't had enough explosive plays this year. We had one against Houston Christian, obviously that big Dane ball. We had one to Cortez, but we haven't had a big, really chunk play against a Power 4 team this year. We didn't really have one against Cincinnati. Okay, we've got to have a chunk play versus Michigan. I told you guys there's going to be a lot of blitzes. It's going to be heavy man coverage. But the thing is, when you're blitzing 6, every single wide receiver is on one-on-one coverage. There's no safety over the top. So if you can pick up that blitz, you allow Jacory Barney to be one-on-one, and he's a double move away from being wide open. Or again, if they're blitzing 5 and Dane gets over the top, beats the safety, boom, exactly, right? Another big deep ball or Dylan him in stride. So it's important for Nebraska to have explosive plays. Obviously it's an instant score. It's a shift of momentum and give confidence to both your offense and your defense. We haven't had enough of explosive plays in the past. We've given up a lot on our end. The team with the most explosive plays will win. And then honestly, this is one I haven't heard from anybody, and this is a very simple key to the game, but I think it's really going to reign true tomorrow. The team that controls time possession will win. I guarantee you. Okay, the team that controls the time possession will win the football game, particularly in Nebraska's instance. We need to keep our offense out there as long as possible because we don't want to have our defense out there because we know what's going to happen when we're on defense. Our defensive line will get exploited. They're going to run all over us. So on our end, when we're on offense, we got to score every time we touch the football. We've got to run at will on them. We've got to do everything we want through the air, okay? The team that controls time possession and controls the flow of the game will win. Michigan, that's always been their script, and they've been very successful at it. So if you can change it up, right? If you can flip it on them, say, hey, we're going to do it our way. Okay, we're going to play our type of game. We're not going to conform to you. You're going to have to conform to us. That's how Nebraska gets it done. All right, those are my final thoughts about the game. I'll have a pregame video tomorrow morning, get just kind of my things I'm thinking about, right? So be here. That'll be posted very early, like 7 a.m. Just kind of a final pregame speech to you guys on what to expect. But again, I had my score prediction. Was posted earlier. Go check it out. I got some flack for it, right? But again, I'll always tell you guys this, and this will be the final thing I say in this video. If you want to have a Nebraska YouTube channel that is going to lie to your face and tell you that Nebraska is going to go undefeated every single year and that they're going to win every single game and it's going to feed you Kool-Aid all the time and it's going to tell you every player's perfect, this is not the channel for you. Okay. The reason why we have 13,000 subscribers on this channel and we're growing is we're very honest, right? You guys know me. I'm an optimist. Okay. I believe Nebraska is going to be very good this season, but I'm also going to keep it real. Okay. And if there's a game that I'm concerned about, I'll tell you, right? I'll tell you if I think a game's a trap game, or I'll tell you if I think we're going to lose. This is the last channel, okay, that's going to lie to your face. There's too many channels that do that lie to your face and say Nebraska's going to be perfect in every aspect or just sipping the Kool-Aid. No. Okay. As fans, we need to be optimistic. I agree. But we also need to be real. Okay. We need to be educated. Okay. So that's what you're getting from the channel. Okay. And I know I'm going to get flagged. Oh, Wilson, you should always predict a win. That's not what we do here, right? That's not what we do, okay? We use our smarts. We use our intellect rather than, oh, we're just going to pray for good vibes rather than having actual some substance behind it, right? So again, if you want channels to lie to your face, probably isn't the place for you. But if you want to have an honest conversation, right, if you want to get my honest thoughts, this is absolutely going to be the channel for you. And I think people have gravitated toward that, and that's why we have the following that we do. So, all right, guys, let me know your final score prediction for tomorrow. Let me know in the comment section. Going to be here post-game. We'll be outside Memorial Stadium, win or loss, hopefully talking about a dub. Be here. Go Big Red. Go my roll. See ya then.